Both submissions talked about a fact-checking body. One was fact-checking council, the other was a fact-checking alliance. But if I could perhaps suggest that there may be common ground, that whatever process around fact-checking is established, that all of you would perhaps agree with some of the statements, that it needs to establish the truth in a way that has some strength or some trust behind it, and that for some of the matters around national security, race, religion, economic and financial issues, public health issues, by definition, that source of truth must be government-backed or state-backed.
Broadly speaking, I'd agree with you, but there may be instances where information could be useful from other sources. On public health, for example, you may get professors, doctors, practitioners who have information which is also useful, and it may be better to have a non-government and independent body verifying that information rather than it coming from the government.
I'm not suggesting it needs to exclusively be from the government. I'm suggesting the government needs to be part of the process.
I wouldn't disagree.
You have, up until this point, argued that we shouldn't have a zero-tolerance approach to falsehood when it comes to the online space and society in general. Now, that may be a reasonable position, but help me understand why there should be a different set of standards for professional journalists as opposed to everyone else.
I'm not so sure we're saying what you are suggesting we are saying. What our view, I think, is that you should distinguish between the deliberate spread of falsehoods and someone who spreads information quite innocently without any intention to mislead. And our fear is that if you don't make that distinction, you will cause the flow of information to seize up. And people who may have a genuine difference of interpretation about data or information or a different point of view will be cowed or fearful about offering that information. And that would make our jobs much, much more difficult. Our ability to keep our readers and our citizens informed a lot more difficult. And that's why we're saying, please have a care.
You've suggested that we should consider measures that would require online platforms such as, and not limited to, Facebook, Google, WeChat, WhatsApp, Snapchat, YouTube, and Twitter to operate on a level playing field with mainstream media organizations, especially in terms of taking responsibility for the content they publish and promote. They should be required to act faster when falsehoods spread on their platforms and to disclose the identities of creators of deliberate falsehoods. Why do you feel it's important for them to behave in a way similar to a media organization? They would claim not to be a media organization. They would claim to be platforms.
I think what we're suggesting is that there should be a more level playing field between all players, and these platforms which are putting out information and spreading it quite considerably ought to be held accountable. And if there's deliberate falsehood on their platforms, they should be required to take them down just as we are, and there should be that level playing field.